Well, I am in the middle of a bit of an ice storm, and just slowly heading home. But Nintendo dropped the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct today. Let's get to it. I'm gonna safely drive home. Let's check out a few of the highlights from it and some of my thoughts. All right, wish me luck. Now, before we get started, I'm just going to share my thoughts. I'm probably not going to talk about the new stand. I'm probably not going to talk about things like the internal speakers. I'm really not going to deep dive into it. I'm just going to give you my initial opinions and thoughts behind a few of the things that I saw with you. And then you can judge. Am I crazy? Am I giving them too much credit, too little credit? What is your opinion and thoughts? So let's get to it. Well, we made it back safely. So let's get right to it. We're going to talk about pros, we're going to talk about cons, we're going to talk about Nintendo Switch 2. Mario Kart World. I'm going to toss this in the pro column. It's Nintendo, it's Mario Kart, it's a staple in their lineup. Although, where is Diddy Kong? Why is he not there? The tracks look amazing, colorful, vibrant, bright, kind of what you would expect in a Mario Kart game. Free roam? I'm interested to see about that. Be interested to go off track and check out the world that they've given us. All in all, not much to say about Mario Kart because it's Mario Kart, but we're going to definitely keep it in that pro column. Yahoo! Joy-Con 2. Now I'll be honest, when I first heard about Joy-Con 2, I was a little underwhelmed. Little concerns about how exactly the magnets are holding, how the release function works, but more importantly, have they addressed Joy-Con drift? What have they put inside it? The Joy-Cons having a C button really doesn't mean much to me. I know Nintendo was really talking about it a lot, but let's be honest, it's just a chat function. Chat functions have been around forever, so it's a lot of hype just for a chat function button, in my opinion. Not to say it's a bad thing. And the screen sharing feature, I'll be honest with you, I thought it didn't look very impressive. Yeah, there's going to be some lagging. There's going to be, frame rate issues with sharing all those screens from multiple people. I just don't see a lot of people using that all the time because I do think that, in the grand scheme of things, it might affect gameplay a bit. But again, it's just my first impression. I have no idea. I need to see it in practicality to see. But just their videos didn't wow me, and that's kind of what you would want. Let's talk about the mouse function. I'm 50-50 on this. I could see some applications where I think this would be a really fun thing, and then the other side of the fence where I feel like maybe it's a bit of a fad, especially because we don't know how much they're going to cost when you have to replace them. So thinking of somebody, being a bit rough with that while they're using it in mouse mode, I don't know. But I am looking forward to seeing how the new buttons are along with the new joystick. Did they improve them? Are they more comfortable? I know the joystick's bigger, those buttons look bigger. How does it play? Truth be told, I'm not a big fan of the Joy-Cons. I don't use them. I don't touch my Joy-Cons at all. Instead, I'm using this. The Pro controller for the Nintendo Switch, by far, is the best controller you can get. So I am looking forward to seeing what that new Pro controller is all about. Now, with all of my concerns and personal feelings about the Joy-Cons in general, and a bit of the unknowns about how this is, going to work out, I'm going to toss this in the con section. Oh no! Now, let's talk about the screen. The original Switch came in at 6.2 inches. The new Switch 2, 7.9. Really nothing for me to complain about there. A bigger screen is always welcome. However, one area that I am a little disappointed in is the LCD screen. If you're a Switch OLED user like I am, you know the vibrant colors, the difference that it made. And while I understand Nintendo's tactics of starting off with the LCD screen, offering an OLED model, probably 8-inch screen or bigger, I'm really surprised that they didn't just start out the gate with an OLED. And that's where it kind of lost me a little bit. Retro. Now, I know it's not the end of the world, but when you've gotten used to an OLED screen, to go back to LCD, as vibrant, as good looking as it can be, there will be a bit of a noticeable difference. Again, this is just my opinion, and I have terrible eyes, so take that for whatever you want. But that being said, I'm still going to put the screen into the Pro column, because just under 8 inches, hey there, is a fantastic size for a handheld screen.
Yahoo!
Internal storage, definitely on the Pro. 32 gigs was never enough to begin with on the original Switch and Switch OLED. 256, completely welcome. 4K dock, definitely in the Pro. To be able to push 4K to your television, gaming monitor is a welcome change. Really not much to say about that. It's just a Pro. And I do like that USB-C port at the top of the Switch. Having 2 of those kind of ports makes perfect sense to me. So I'm glad that they did that. And I know a lot of you people out there will probably make use of that port as well.
Yahoo!
Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. The only thing I can really say about this is, why are people having to pay for it? I think it's a great idea. They clearly have watched Sony, but to make people pay for learning about their system? Con, for sure. That should be something that should be included with the system as a free download and just experience it, learn more about what you just paid a ton of money for. We'll get into that in a second. And then make them pay for, I don't know. I can't see people actually paying for that. Could you?
Oh no!
Micro SD express cards. I'll be honest with you, I'm 50-50 on that. The pro side is, yes, higher transfer rate. I get it. You can move data faster to the card, vice versa. But come on. You're telling me that I can't use a high-speed standard micro SD card in a Switch? I don't know. Again, I'm 50-50 on it, so I can't put it on either, so I'll just put it on both.
Oh no!
Switch 2 Pro Controller. Now, I know we already touched on this, but I'll be honest with you, I am looking forward to it. A few extra buttons, it's great. Again, Nintendo's really going at this C button thing. It's just a chat function, so, I mean, I get it. Maybe it's because I don't have friends. Like, are they overcompensating because of Gen 1 Switches being notoriously awful for chat function? I just don't get it. I don't know. Anyways, Pro. Pro for the Pro. Let's move on.
Yahoo!
We're going to talk about games for the Switch 2 in a second upcoming video, but let's just briefly discuss it here. Let's start off with paid upgrades. I'm not much of a fan of that. To be honest with you, I understand the logistics about it. The company needs to make money. They're going to spend a bit of time polishing, not a lot of man hours, but a bit of time polishing the game so that I can play a little bit better, a little bit nicer, a little bit more smooth on a newer system. That being said, depending on the price, it might be worth it, or it might be not worth it. So I'm going to right now kind of move that into the con column, although I do understand if there's a game that you love playing all the time, that you've played over and over again for years, Skyrim, I'm talking about you, then you might do it. You know, it depends on if it's worth it and how much time you're going to invest in that game. Other titles that they announced, 007, Street Fighter, Hyrule, I'm looking forward to learning more about those titles and to see how they're going to play on the system. So again, we're going to talk about games a little bit down the road here, but I wasn't wowed too much. You know, I maybe I'm just getting old. It's not maybe. I'm getting old. But I just don't see anything that really makes me want to go grab this system day one.
Oh no! Yahoo!
Nintendo GameCube. Just not just not physical. I think it's great that they're adding a bit to their library, but I'll be honest with you, I don't subscribe to that level of their membership. Because I like playing on the original hardware with original games, because there's just something different about that. And if you've never experienced it, you really should try it. And B, for what I would use it for or not use it for, I just don't see the value for me anyways. Maybe it's different for you. So, I mean, let me know, because yeah, you get some good games, but again, at that first level tier, to be able to play some of the original classics and stuff for people my age, I mean, that's pretty good. So the Nintendo GameCube controller definitely is something that I'd be interested in if I was playing those games on that system, because I do like this controller, but I'm a big GameCube fan. I love the GameCube. So for me, yeah, this would be something that I would add to my Switch 2 collection if I was playing games that kind of required this controller. So yeah, I don't know. It's still kind of cool though.
Yahoo!
Let's talk about price. And I'm going to be very upfront with you. It's going into the con column. For all the bells and whistles that the Nintendo Switch 2 has, price point seems to be too high. Now, hear me out. 2027 or 2028 will be the next generation launch. So while Nintendo's pushing out Switch 2 right now in 2025, Microsoft and Sony are already in development for their next gen systems. So when they come out in a few years, the Nintendo Switch is going to look ancient again. And I think that that's where the price point for what people are actually getting, they don't seem to align properly. When you factor in the fact that you're paying the same price for a PlayStation or an Xbox Series X, that price point, I'm sure, shocked the majority of Nintendo's customers. Is it enough to keep people away from buying the system? Yeah, some people will not get it. Some people will wait till it goes either on sale, good luck, or you see the used market start becoming a bit more prominent. But I digress. It is what it is. Like everything in 2025, prices are on the rise. And as much as we don't like it, if somebody really wants to play that system and use that system, unfortunately, that's where prices are. Which does make me concerned about when the next gen comes out in a few years and the generation after that. It's getting up there, so. Not a huge fan on the price point. When you have to pay for a demo of learning about the new controllers and whatnot, you have to pay to upgrade your games. You have to pay more for your external media. You're going to pay more for your games. And now the console costs what it does. When all that's said and done, I think you have to really sit back and take a look and see financially, does this make sense?
Oh no!
And last but not least, let's talk about the name. I'm not a fan. Back when the rumors were just going rampant, Switch 2, Switch 2, Switch 2, I'll be honest with you, I was like, there's no way Nintendo is going to call it Switch 2. It's kind of boring. There's another company that already does naming conventions like that. Sony, what's up? And I just don't see how Nintendo came across just putting a 2 with the name. I'll be honest with you, this system should have just been called Super Nintendo Switch. Throwback to the days when I was growing up, again because I'm old, and still keeping the Nintendo Switch name in there. So, not a real fan of calling it Switch 2. For Nintendo, the name just lacks creativity. And I'm a little surprised that they decided to go that route, because Nintendo's always kind of done things a bit their way. So calling it Switch 2, con. All the gaming companies have horrible naming conventions for their systems. Sony, I find it boring. PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know the next one's going to be called PlayStation 6. It's boring to me. Xbox, I don't even know what they're thinking. And I like Xbox. I'm an Xbox. I have all the systems, but I'm an Xbox guy. Don't hate me. But their project names are way better than the names they come out with their systems. Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X. So they all do their things, but I digress. I just want to see some creativity, and I expected it from Nintendo, and to me, Nintendo Switch 2 it's a lackluster name. I just, it's a trivial thing. It wasn't even something that was about this video. It's just a pet peeve of mine. Just, come on guys, just do an old man a favor and call it Super Nintendo Switch, because it's a Switch, but it's super. I feel like I'm turning into one of those get off my lawn kind of guys, and that sucks. Well, there you have it. While we didn't deep dive into technical specifications or do a frame-by-frame analysis of the Direct, I just wanted to take a moment to share my first initial questions and concerns and thoughts behind what I just watched. So, let me know what your thoughts are. Are you going to get this system? Are you like me and you're undecided? Am I right about some things, or have I gone completely ludicrous speed on some of my thoughts?
Sir, hadn't you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
So let me know your thoughts. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and I hope you join me on the next one as we continue to look at games from the 8-bit era and counting. Thanks for watching. PC Master Race, I know you're laughing at us. I know you are. But even you could admit that, I don't know, it's so expensive. Have they addressed, but more importantly, it's really not a concern to me. Maybe other people will. My Switch Lite. Where is Diddy Kong? Hey there.